capstone to championship weekend under the Carter Finley lights. The North Carolina High School Athletic Association State Championship broadcast presented by Tatum and Atkinson, the heavy hitters. The big schools take the stage for the 4A title. It's the top seed out of the West, the Weddington Warriors, and the 3 seed from the East, the Hoggard Vikings. Welcome, everybody, to Carter Finley. Patrick Keenis with ECU standout Jay Sonhalter. And Jay, Weddington has won 3 state titles, never at the 4A level. Hoggard, the school doors have been open for almost 60 years. They play for a second state championship tonight.
What an opportunity for both programs who's been so impressive throughout the playoffs. And Patrick, both these teams are built the same. They're tough, they want to run the football, and they have senior quarterbacks that they trust. And
a ton of Division I talent we'll see tonight, including 7 D1 commits on one of these 2 teams. Who are some of the players to watch tonight?
Well, for Hoggard, Hudson Wilharm has been outstanding. He's being recruited by Ivy League schools, Division I schools as well. They recognize his talent and his leadership ability. He's been efficient throughout the playoffs. He's the team leader, and he's a guy the coaching staff trusts in tough situations. Over on the other side for Weddington, Tyler Budge is committed to Georgia Southern. He's a guy that can use his legs with the zone read. He's a weapon in the run game. His talent is with his arm strength. His leadership ability as well stands out. He's got weapons on the outside. He's going to involve everyone here today on the offensive end.
All right, Jay, let's jump to our keys to the game. The Ingles Food for Thought, brought to you by Ingles Foods. Low prices, love the savings.
Well, for Hoggard, it's a turnover battle, and then special teams. That's an area they focus on. They want to have special plays in the third phase of the game. And then for Weddington, being physical along the line of scrimmage, and then the focus area this week in practice has been finishing in the red zone, making sure they score touchdowns, and on the defensive end, force field goals or get turnovers.
All right, so Hoggard 14-1 overall, Weddington 13-2. Third member of our broadcast crew is down on the sidelines, and alma mater of one of these 2 schools, Kendall Smith. Kendall?
Yeah, guys, Weddington is coming into tonight's game as the #1 seed, but they're playing the game as if they're underdogs. Wide receiver Keenan Jackson told me earlier in the week that it's a Weddington versus everybody mentality, and they're taking everything personally after what they say are people looking down on them. Now, as for Hoggard, Coach Craig Underwood describes this opportunity as awesome to be able to represent the Wilmington area on the biggest stage of North Carolina high school football. Hoggard has 39 seniors, Weddington has 24, so a lot rides on what we're about to see here tonight at Carter Finley Stadium. This is the NCHSAA 4A State Championship presented by Tatum and Atkinson, the heavy hitters. And when we come back, it's time for kickoff between the Hoggard Vikings and the Weddington Warriors.
It is a picturesque Saturday in Raleigh. Still 65 degrees on this second Saturday in December. And the Hoggard Viking alums, the students, the parents, they are all here in droves. And we bore history for Hoggard for just the second time in 56 years of school's existence. They just ran through the tunnel onto a D1 football field, and they'll be playing for a state championship. As will the Weddington Warriors. The Warriors, 3-time 3AA champs, but they moved up to the 4A class a couple of years ago. They got to the quarterfinals 2 years back, the semifinals last year, and now they reached the 4A state championship game. So Patrick Keenis, Jay Sonhalter with you, and we will pause now for our national anthem in the center of Carter Finley. Kickoff in 4 minutes. effort will get everybody ready for the 4A state championship game. We are on the campus of NC State University. Carter Finley Stadium. Patrick Heenis, Jay Sonhalter up here in the booth. Kendall Smith down the sidelines. Moments away from kickoff of the 4A state title game. And you talk about the Weddington Warriors Day, the top seed out of the West, despite a couple of losses in the regular season. But their RPI schedule strength was the best at the 4A level. A little bit of controversy around them getting the top seed, but it turns out well-deserved as they traversed through the bracket into the 4A state championship game. And for Hoggard, they came in as the 3 seed in the East, but in the regional final against Cardinal Gibbons, they boat raced Cardinal Gibbons in the first half. It was a fairly easy 41-20 victory over a very, very good Crusader squad, as Craig Underwood has Hoggard playing for a state championship for the second time in school history.
Well, they created 16 turnovers. The last 3 weeks, their defense has been amazing. And over on the other side, Weddington going against Independence last week really took hold of that game in the second half to get here tonight to Carter Finley.
Yeah, Weddington, the key game for Andy Capone, the head coach for Weddington, was in the second round of the playoffs. They took on Chambers. Chambers was just a 16 seed, but widely viewed as one of the best teams on that side of the bracket. And the defense held the final minute as Chambers got to about midfield, but the defense held. 14-10 win and fairly straightforward since. So the Weddington Warriors, champions of 3AA in 2016, 2018, and 2019. It's their 5th ever title appearance here tonight. And again, Andy Capone's 7th year already, the all-time winningest coach for the Warriors. Craig Underwood, very, very pleased with his Hoggard Vikings. He's talked about the tidal wave of energy, the build-up over the weeks in the community for this program. This is a generational night for the Hoggard Vikings, because they're not just representing the current players, the current class of future alumni from Hoggard right now in that building. They're representing generations of Hoggard fans and families and people who have been with this program over the years but never seen them really do this outside of the 1 year.
This is the coin for the night. This is heads and this is tails. This is heads and this is tails. Hoggard, you're the visiting captain. If you'll call the toss loud enough the umpire can hear it, what is your call?
Tails.
It is tails. You won the toss first. Hoggard has won the toss and elected to defer. You want the ball. If you put your back to this goal. Hoggard, if you'll put your back here. Weddington has elected to receive.
So the coin toss down to the field. Weddington will get the football to begin the final state championship football game of this 2023 campaign. Jay, we're moments away from kickoff. What's running through the minds of these players?
Well, just for these players out on the field, what a feeling they have, having their community support, their fan bases behind them, getting ready to play the final game of the year. And for some of these players, the seniors, the final game of their high school career. And these are the best years playing high school football, an opportunity to win a state championship with your friends, your family, everybody here to watch you. It's truly the best. And, you know, just talking with the coaches this week, Patrick, it starts at the top with their leadership. Andy Capone, Craig Underwood, great guys, and you can see why their teams have made it to the state championship.
Craig Underwood in his 9th year as the head coach for the Vikings, but he started as a linebacker coach back in 2006. The very next year, they won the 2007 4A championship. That's the only time Hoggard has been on this stage. First time, obviously, for him as a head coach. Weddington in the green jerseys, Hoggard in the whites. And we're ready for kickoff of the 4A state championship. So thank you for tuning in, everyone. The Hoggard Vikings ready to get this ball game underway. Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue kickoff. Breakaway from every day with Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. So the Vikings ready to boot it away. Tobias Brubaker will do the honors. And we are off from Raleigh for a 4A title. Line drive kick brought in the end zone. Touchback for the Weddington Warriors. And as Jay mentioned in the open, both teams led by senior trustworthy quarterbacks Tyler Budge He is at the controls, dual threat quarterback. He's thrown for almost 3,000 yards, rushed for nearly 600, and accounted for 43 touchdowns.
Well, leader of the program, and his ability to run the ball has been so important throughout the year. He's got elite weapons on the outside, and with his arm strength, he'll be able to take shots down the field.
Nick Diamond is going to be the key guy in the backfield. He's rushed for almost 900. Keenan Jackson, the UNC commit, the top wide receiver. And here we go. First play from scrimmage from the 20-yard line for Weddington. And the give on first down, and an immediate trip up. That's Brady Ritter on the carry for a couple of yards. Something important about getting that first hit in as we take a look at the starters, brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson.
Well, you start off with Budge, and then Diamond and Ritter running the ball have been great throughout the year. The wide receivers with Barber, Jackson, top-end speed. Mock is really efficient in the pass game as well as blocking, and then this offensive line, 5 seniors up front.
This is Budge on a fake handoff, spun for a loss. And the Hoggard defense, 2 outstanding plays right out of the gates. And the tackle there by Hoggard's Reagan Princey. As we take a look at the starting defense for Hoggard, also brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson.
Well, front 7 is physical with West, Ishmael, Drayton, and Bell. And the linebackers are fast with Prunty, Edwards, and Austin. The back end, Stevens, Nixon, Fulton, Gillespie. They are rangy, and they're going to look to intercept passes tonight.
3rd and 9 out of the gun. Budge, he retreats, throws over the middle into traffic, and boy, I tell you what, that was nearly picked off, but it still got through and caught by Weddington for a first down. Inches away from an interception, but it was Weddington's Gavin Schrader on the back end of this one, kind of taking it back away from the defensive back.
And Schrader, 6'1", boxed out the defender like a basketball player on the crossing route. Nice job picking up the first down.
Well, that pass was sizzled in by Budge. First down, Weddington. And out from maybe a yard. The run defense very stiff so far by Hoggard. They've taken care of Budge both at carries.
Quarterback designed to run. When you watch film, the threat is him with his legs going up the middle. He has speed to the outside as well. And Andy Capone, the head coach, also calls plays for Weddington.
His mom, his dad, his aunt and uncle are both here. He's hoping his uncle, who's ahead of surgery in New Hampshire, might come down. He said, if you play for a state championship, I'm coming down from New Hampshire. 2nd and 9. And this one is picked off by Hoggard on a misread. And up the left sideline, there we go, the Vikings, and taking it in. Trey Nixon down to the 2. An interception, 4 plays into the game, and the Viking fans are going berserk.
Well, now 17 turnovers here the last few weeks in the playoffs for Hoggard. And Nixon was just sitting in zone coverage, reading the eyes of Budge, sitting back, and then the ball just falls right into his arms, and he's looking for the end zone.
Trey Nixon, one of the seniors. 39 seniors on this Hoggard team. And now the first play from scrimmage, a fake and toss to the end zone, and a touchdown for Hoggard on the first play from scrimmage. Charlie Kilborn, the tight end, was unmarked. And a 2-yard touchdown strike from Will Harm. 2 minutes in, the D is forced a turnover, and the offense has scored on 1 play.
Exactly what you want to gain momentum is a play-action pass, and Kilborn just sitting on the backside of that play gets out in the flat. Easy throw for Wilhelm.
And a stunning start for the Vikings. Extra point on the way. And it's a 7-love lead, 126 seconds into the opening quarter.
Here's play action face. Fake, and then over the top, Kilborn easily gets in the end zone, and Hoggard strikes first.
Turnover, touchdown, Hoggard, standing 8 count, Weddington, just underway in the 4A title. You could not have scripted a better start for the Hoggard Vikings. After an interception, 1 play, 4-yard touchdown reception by Charlie Kilborn. That's our Windsor Jewelers scoring summary. Happily ever after always begins at Windsor Jewelers. So Weddington, maybe a bit dumbstruck by the opening couple of minutes, Jay. but they have the history, they have the lineage to handle a quick strike moment against them like we just saw.
Well, in state championship games, it's all about momentum and then handling adversity. Which team can gain that momentum, and then how you handle it when things don't go your way is so important.
There's Tyler Budge. We'll see how he responds after throwing an interception in the first series of the game. 28 touchdowns, 11 picks. But he is the undeniable leader of this Weddington squad. Short kickoff, drive begins at the 40-yard line, and first down carry. There goes Nick Diamond. And Nick Diamond goes into Vikings territory, plunging ahead for about 17.
Diamond averages 7 yards per carry, and that's a good start. Getting up to the second level, the offensive line just created a wedge for Diamond to run through.
You can tell how strong he is. Upper body, lower body, stays low to the ground. Blew through that hole. Budge on first down, swings it out. Keenan Jackson spun down around the 39-yard line in the left flats. Picks up about 5. Let's go quickly downstairs. Here's Kendall Smith on the quick start for the Vikings.
Yeah, guys, we talked with Craig Underwood earlier in the week, and he said something he feels like that's gone underappreciated about his team this year is how fast they can start games. A prime example of that right there, but that's something Coach said earlier to us this week.
And is following right in line with how their season has gone. And the defense right back out there. 4-man fronts on 2nd and 5. High snap brought down. Diamond again bursting through into the second level down to the 25-yard line. Solid size, not overly big, but he's quick through that hole and very strong. Breaks through that first tackle and will move the chains for a Weddington first down.
Well, he runs angry. I mean, look at him just looking for contact, refusing to go down. And if you're a defender, you're going to have to be physical. You're going to have to go low to try to bring him down.
NC 529 first down. Never too early or too late to start saving for education with NC 529. Diamond again bounces off a couple of men and takes it inside the 20-yard line.
And he's had such an excellent year, Patrick. Recruiting attention really starting to pick up for him. Only a junior, and such a big opportunity for him tonight.
Here's a look at Andy Capone, 7th year for the Warriors. I feel like they've prepared for the growth in class from 3AA to 4A over the last couple of years with their scheduling. They have been knocking on the door of a state title appearance at the 4A level. They're finally here. And a pass completion into the sideline inside the 10 for Keenan Jackson. First and goal.
Well, this will be a fun matchup tonight with Keenan Jackson, Javon Barber on the outside going against Hoggard's excellent defensive backs. The ball was caught. This is a physical secondary that's going to come up and hit you.
Inside, they talk it out, NC red zone. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. First and goal. Keeper Budge probing ahead and driven back after a couple of yard gain. Ball springs loose. There was no whistle. Picked up though by. Well, thought it was picked up by Weddington and carried into the end zone. Looks like it's a touchdown for Keenan Jackson. Arms go up by the officials. Touchdown Weddington. What a surprise.
And the ball just shot loose. Great job. Reagan Printy knocked the ball out. He did his job to try to create the turnover. As Budge goes through, watch number 21 here. He's held up, and there's Printy. Just rips it. Great job going after it, and the ball just bounces the way for Weddington, and then Jackson picks it up. But this is perfect technique there to try to knock it loose. It works, but then Weddington has an easy trek to the end zone.
Do you believe this starts? Extra point away from being all square, and it is 7-all at NC State. 7:46 to go. A couple of receptions for Jackson, but the recovery is the spotlight moment for the Warriors. Buckle up for this 4A title. We're tied at 7. Seven all, less than 5 minutes into the opening quarter of the 4A title game. Windsor Jewelers scoring summary, 6 plays, 60 yards, a fortuitous bounce on a forced fumble right into the arms of Jackson, who carried it across the line for the game-tying score. 7-7, Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue kickoff. Breakaway from every day with Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. Weddington kicks it off to the Hoggard Vikings. And And this will travel halfway into the red NC State end zone, and a touchback for Hoggard. Let's go downstairs to Kendall Smith, who has a quick little update about the sideline and the approach of their head coach, Andy Capone, after a shaky first couple of minutes.
Yeah, guys, despite the touchdown there from Weddington on the last drive, Andy Capone seemed less than thrilled with the way that all unfolded. He was screaming at his team as they came back to the sidelines, don't turn the ball over. But that's what these players say they love about Andy Capone. He's going to tell them like it is, and it's helped them to be this great.
Well, it has been a wobbly start for their senior quarterback, Budge, through the pick, and then was stripped inside the 10-yard line, but a reprieve. The wide receiver screen on first down, looking for Naz Session, the top leading receiver for the Vikings, and minimal yardage there. But he is a threat at 3 touchdowns in the regional final win over Cardinal Gibbons last week. This will be the first true look at the Hoggard offense over the course of this game. Again, they ran just the one play after the pick. On 2nd and 9, they give it off. And gang tackle by the Weddington Warriors, taking down Mikael Bellamy, the top rusher on this Viking squad. 3rd down.
It starts with Will Harm being the leader and 1-2 punch in the running game with Newkirk and Bellamy, Session, Edwards, and Toops. Really good out wide, and this offensive line is athletic with Gibbs, Smith, Williams, Oatman, and Myatt leading the way in the trenches.
Tatum and Atkinson starting lineups. If you're injured in a car wreck, call the heavy hitters. 3rd down and 8 for the Vikings. 7-7, almost halfway through the opening quarter. Will Harm out of the gun. Looks right the entire way, throws it to the sideline, and that is uncatchable into the Weddington bench. Did look like a marker was thrown, and one of the officials from the other end of the field comes in to talk with our referee, Ronnie Bloutz.
Sideline warning on Weddington. That is their first. There's no yardage attached to that foul.
Thank you, Ronnie. Viking fans displeased with that rule. So an incomplete pass makes it a 4th down, and Hoggard will kick it away.
Now there's pressure up the middle from 2 of the top sophomores in the country and their brothers. Aiden Harris and Drew Harris winning that interior of the defensive line, getting pressure right in the lap of Will Harm.
But experienced.
They are.
Started a bunch of games as a freshman. A high snap, and the awkward boot is sent away to be caught just beyond midfield. They are caught at the 46-yard line. So excellent field position for Weddington, and now we'll see if that message was received from their head coach, Andy Capone. We'll see if Tyler Budge and the Warriors can caretake the football much better than they have so far. Fortunate to be in a tie. Look at Craig Underwood, 9th year as the head coach. Drive starts at the 46 for Weddington. Budge out of the gun. And hands it off. Ritter. Angles left, carries it into Viking territory.
The Warriors went with a 2 tight end set, really loading things up on the line of scrimmage. With this running game with Ritter and Diamond, they really complement each other well. They keep each other fresh. And then you mix in Budge as well. And those 3 provide a lot of different styles to the opposing defense.
Game 6. And another dart to the left sideline, brought in again by Keenan Jackson. That's 3 catches already. And it took 2.5, almost 3 defenders to wrestle him out of bounds into that Weddington sideline.
Jackson has elite speed, and the secondary is playing off him, giving him room to operate. These short passes, he'll have room there to catch the ball and get yards after the catch.
First down reception by Jackson.
There's the cushion down at the bottom of the screen, about 8 yards. Hoggard's defensive back is giving to Jackson.
Here on the sideline by Budge. First down Warriors. Tie game Inside 6 minutes for the first quarter. Jackson again tries to make a move, but again, there's just not a lot of room down there. And it's not only the initial coverage by the quarterback for Hoggard, but they're anticipating the ball being funneled his way. They're firing 2 other guys toward Jackson to hem him in.
Yeah, they're flying to the ball. Still positive pickup on first down to make it 2nd and 5. But this is a group in the secondary. They don't want to get beat over the top.
They're going to make Jackson work to get his yards. And Ritter working to lose 1 right there. Hoggard all over that play call.
The all-everything linebacker, Reagan Printney, just shot the gap. Here's Printney recognizing it. No hesitation at all. He's a physical ball player, the senior, one of the leaders of this team.
And he was fun to talk to earlier in the week. I mean, he told us that the last 3 years he's watched this 4A title game, didn't really allow his mind to wander too much over the course of the season or the playoffs about actually playing in this game. So we lose some people watching games as far as their ratings go, but he's on the field playing for a state title tonight. Past the sideline, that's good enough for a first down. Anthony Barino, an exceptional freshman for this Warriors squad. First down yardage.
He plays running back, and they'll put him out wide as a freshman. Andy Capone just loves what he's going to be able to do throughout his time here at Weddington, knowing exactly where the first down marker was. He got behind it and comes back to the ball.
C529 first down. Ball spotted right at the 25. Snap brought down by Budge. He will hand it off to Barino. Spun around, lost his compass, and lost a couple of yards. And there is James Kalana. Princey making that stop right there for Hoggard again.
Yeah, Princey makes the initial contact, just sits behind his defensive end, comes up, and then help comes behind him with Hudson Patterson, the outside linebacker, cleaning it up.
186 tackles for Princey over the course of Hoggard's 15 games. Leads the squad by a wide margin. 2nd and 12. A pass out left side numbers. This is Jackson. Made a man miss. Tight ropes the sideline and is in. Touchdown, Weddington. Impeccable balance by Keenan Jackson. Inches away from the sideline. Stayed in, kept his composure, and ran it in the final 9 yards for a score.
Well, the talent is evident, and Andy Capone talked with us about Jackson's ability to continue to develop his route tree. And that route was so smooth. The jerk route going in, coming back out, Budge through a strike, and then there's the balance, the it ability that Jackson has to keep his feet in bounds. And another touchdown, 1 through fumble recovery, and there 1 through the air.
That's a much more traditional score for Keenan Jackson in his football career, but he's responsible now for both scores for Weddington. And the extra point driven through. So a very foggy start for the Weddington Warriors, but now they have recovered 2 solid drives. Defense has played well. A touchdown lead for Weddington with 4:03 left in the first quarter. Message from that man, Andy Capone, evidently received.
Patrick, they faced adversity. That first drive, turnover, and then quick score from Hoggard. And then we see Weddington just settle in. And their offense goes to work. They stayed patient. They've mixed in the run and the pass. I really like the play calling right now, getting the ball to Jackson as much as possible, and then they found some running games up the middle.
Well, entering this game, Keenan Jackson, number 2 all-time in Union County in reception yards in a single season. Came in at 1568. He now has already 5 catches for 58 here tonight. And he's now within 23 yards of passing Dan Brooks for the all-time Union County single-season mark, set for Piedmont back in 2002. And he may beat that one in the first quarter.
He averages 17 yards per catch. So every time he gets it, it's usually explosive.
So 14-7 lead for Weddington. Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue at kickoff. The perfect start scripted for the Hoggard Vikings has been crumpled up and thrown into the trash bin. They'll need to find a response. Touchback will start this drive at the 20 for Hoggard. We take a look at our Windsor Jewelers scoring summary. Happily Ever After begins at Windsor Jewelers. 7 plays, 54 yards. The final half of that drive, 27-yard reception by Jackson. want to score. Fake swing out, goes to the reverse side. Catch is made, but behind the line of scrimmage. Swarming D right there by Weddington, including Aiden Harris. As we take a look at the starting defense for the Weddington Warriors, presented by Tatum and Atkins.
Some young talent along with veterans on this defense. Harris brothers, Luiso, great on the defensive line. Barger, Anthony, and Davis. They'll roam the field as linebackers. Neely committed to Wake Forest, McDonald, Kelowna, and Hill. They're really solid on the back end.
Bellamy in the backfield to the left of Wilharm on 2nd down and 15. Time to throw. Pocket begins to collapse, and now they grab the quarterback Wilharm around the waist and spin him down. And that's Drew Harris. Sophomore defensive end got in there first.
Yeah, he's got offers along with his brother from ACC, SEC schools. And here he is, Drew, going through that first step quickness, just relentless, pad level, staying low, beating the block for a big play and forcing a 3rd and long situation.
Just how good are those twins going to be in the next year or two? Highly coveted pieces. So major Power 5 D1 program in a couple of years. 3rd down from the 11. They need the 30. Slant over the middle as a marker is thrown in. Well, that play basically goes nowhere when you're facing 3rd down and about 19. But a penalty marker did sail in early in the play from back behind the play. We'll go back to Ronnie Blount.
Personal foul, face mask, number 2 of the defense. That will result in a first down.
There is a big blunder for the Weddington Warriors. They were about to force a punt with all of the momentum, wearing green and white, and now it's an automatic first down. That gets the Vikings out of jail.
Yeah, just a mistake right there. And these type of ball games, you want to limit turnovers, of course. The penalties is another focus area for the coaching staff. Both of these teams have been so disciplined throughout the year. See down the bottom of the screen, a little bit of contact, yeah.
So it is an automatic first down. Line of scrimmage now the 31-yard line, so back to work goes the Warrior defense.
And for Hoggard, you have to take advantage of this opportunity. You're gifted an extra opportunity. Now you've got to find a way to get something to create some balance. And this is a running game that's been so good throughout the year. Now this run-stopping effort from Weddington was impressive last week going against Independence, and they're starting running back. They limited his opportunities and something they're so good at.
Spread the field, 3 receivers. They find the isolated coverage on the left side. One-on-one catch is made, but not much after the catch. And that will bring up 3rd down. That's Naz Session again with his 2nd catch of the night.
Session on the outside, really good speed, but he's a big target. There, just hugs the sideline. Sam Neely forces him out of bounds. That'll be a good matchup with those two working against each other.
3rd and short for the Vikings.
And Neely's man coverage travels across the field, and Session and him are lined up one-on-one down at the bottom of the screen.
3rd and 2. Handoff, contact right at the line. Spinning forward, but not far enough. Shy of the 40-yard line. And that will keep the Vikings short. That's Javion Joseph Fontaine on his first touch in the backfield for Hoggard. And that will bring up 4th down and short, but it's a dangerous part of the field if you consider going for it. And the punt team for the Vikings will come on the field.
Yeah, this is the right decision. You've got to play the field position game here on the long game. And if you don't get this, you're going to set it up perfectly for Weddington. Just have to flip the field, and Hoggard has been excellent with their special teams.
So Brew Baker is out there to punt it away. Snap is clean, little pressure up the middle. He did get it off untouched. And moving forward to the 35 and making a fair catch is Weddington's Ian McDermott. So another fairly short field for Weddington, and they have been able to overcome a very shaky opening couple of minutes of this contest. But now, early in this contest, in a bit of charge of this contest, have a score in possession again.
Well, they've looked more comfortable the past few drives, and I think we're going to see them continue to try to highlight Jackson in the passing game. And over on the defensive side, Hoggard has to take away something. You can't let Weddington be efficient through the air and run the ball.
So the 35 is where this Warrior drive will begin. They stack a couple of receivers at the bottom of your screen. The top of those two is Keenan Jackson. Runs straight up the middle. That's Diamond. But he's just a bruiser, is he not? Picks up 5.
Helmets flying off. It's fun watching the line of scrimmage. Look at how physical it is between the offensive and defensive line. There goes the helmet. There's Diamond just looking for anybody to hit.
It's also Ismail, number 50, who lost the helmet, so he's sent to the Hoggard sideline for a play. 5 yards to go on second down for the Warriors, leading by a touchdown. Budge, design roll to the left. That's a tough throw to make it to the sideline. Leaping effort, caught, but was he in bounds? And the official says no. Excellent effort by Keenan Jackson, contorting his body in midair to give himself a chance to land inside the line.
That is such a difficult throw for Budge, rolling out towards his left and then throws it across his body, lays it up for Jackson, did the best that he could, almost able to bring it in.
That is a terrific call on the sideline, because if you slow it down, the second foot did land in, but it was the first foot that touched on the line and out of bounds.
A big third down coming up for this defense. Can you get off the field? We'll see how their defensive backs are lined up, the cushion on the outside, the wide receivers.
Budge Jackson again, bottom of your screen, right on the numbers. 3rd and 5. Budge rolls his way, looks down the field, he looks off of Jackson and connects near the sideline and inside the 50. It'll be a first down. That's Jonathan Manley, the sophomore. Was not targeted often by the Warriors over the course of the year, but roamed into the right spots against that defense.
And this was excellent. Perfect throw. Again, running full speed to the outside. Budge just flicks his wrist and gets the ball out to a sophomore wide receiver, Manley.
28 seconds to play, opening quarter. 14-7 Weddington. Fresh set of downs. Diamond one more time. Gets out of an ankle tackle. Almost broke free again. Holding on for dear life was Josiah Gillespie for Hoggard. Or else Diamond had a lot of terrain right down the center of the field.
He's got the lower body leg strength and just that passion that he plays with. It's evident as he runs here. He goes towards the right side. He's just refusing to go down. You got to wrap up to tackle him.
Well, it was a wobbly start for Weddington and Tyler Budge. An early pick, a fumble inside the 10-yard line, but the Warriors looking for their 4th state title, up 14-7 after the opening quarter for the 4A title. Second quarter about to get underway. Weddington on top of Hoggard, 14-7. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter up here in the booth. Kendall Smith down to the sidelines. Weddington football 2nd and 5 inside Viking territory as we open up the second 12-minute stanza. Tyler Budge will give it off to Diamond. Slipped a little bit as he tried to plant that foot and drive forward. That'll bring up a 3rd down. Let's go downstairs to Kendall.
Yeah, guys, I can hear Carolina Panthers legend Thomas Davis screaming from the stands right now. His son TJ plays for the Warriors, and you would think he might have some sort of coaching gig with Weddington given all of his football experience, but he might have something that's more important. He is the official halftime snack coordinator for the Warriors, so he brings the Uncrustables, the oranges, the grapes, and Keenan Jackson said that's why we're the best second half team in the country, guys.
I mean, was that a great shot of him leading the cheers? A whole lot more to get into about Thomas Davis Sr., and the reason I say senior, I'll give you some info on that as well as we get a whistle, and I believe a timeout has been spent here by Weddington. And once again,
that is their first timeout of the half.
Is very, very unhappy. But it looks like one of his assistants is trying to get him to, hey, chill out just a little bit. But, you know, back to Thomas Davis Sr., you know, we talk about his legendary status with the Carolina Panthers, played in the NFL for upwards of 18 years, recovered from 3 ACL tears in the same knee. Never, ever has been that accomplished in the NFL. He only had one Division I offer to play college football because he was from a small town down in Georgia, Shellman. and that offer was at UGA. So he went there. All he did was be an All-American and become a first-round pick. But you go to Super Bowl 50, right? After all of these injuries, Super Bowl 50, he's the defensive leader in the NFC Championship game against Arizona, breaks his arm. It's the heart and soul of the defense. Figure there's no way he's going to play against the Broncos in the Super Bowl. A couple of weeks later, he's in the starting defensive lineup with that broken arm against the Denver Broncos. But one more nugget about his son, TJ, who's wearing number 0 for Weddington, as Andy Capone is trying to get his team all fired up on a 3rd down and 4. Budge out of the shotgun, 5-receiver formation here for the Warriors, and markers are thrown, and this appears to go against Weddington as well. But obviously they have lived such a lavish, hard-earned NFL lifestyle with the entire Davis family.
Number 66 of the offense.
Thomas wanted to make sure that all the kids are very well grounded, very well respected, earn what they get. They all had chores as little kids. And for TJ, his chore was to clean off the table. And then a few years later, he had a request of his dad. He said, "Dad, I want you to put Davis Sr. on the back of your Panthers uniform in 2015, which he did, because at that stage, TJ wants to be junior, and he wants to be potentially the next NFL Davis in the family. Penalty marker down on 3rd and long, and a broken play right there, and we'll see what the call is. But being a new father, my son's 2, just turned 2 a couple of days ago, I can see myself like Thomas in the stands right now, just rousing on his son on the field. What great joy that must bring to him and his family. And this penalty also on Weddington.
Holding number 65 of the offense. That penalty will be declined. 4th down.
And the punt unit on the field for Weddington. And that is what the Hoggard Vikings defense needed. They've done a nice job containing Budge, at least on the ground so far.
They try to keep him inside and not allow him to get outside on the perimeter. And back to TJ Davis, only a sophomore. One of the best sophomores in the country, has offers from UNC State as well as the SEC. And this is a young group for Weddington, and then their seniors are stars. It's just a roster that's littered with talent, with talent throughout.
Viking pressure again on that punt attempt. They may get one tonight. This will land inside the 10, untouched, will be down by the Warriors right at the 5-yard line. Early stage of 2nd quarter. Let's get to the Honda of the Carolinas stats from the opening quarter, Jay. And look at that disparity. 150 yards to 11 total yards, but it was the turnover that set up the Hoggard score.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that one turnover is what created the points for the Vikings. Weddington has controlled the time of possession, and you see the balance. They've been able to throw it and run it. Hoggard's got to find a way to take away one aspect of their offense.
You know what would make my night? If there are some extra halftime snacks that Thomas could bring up here. I'll eat any of those things that Kendall is listed. Drive begins at the 5-yard line for the Vikings. Little jet sweep to the short part of the field, nowhere to go, and a loss of a couple of yards. Barely staying outside of the end zone. Carried by Blake Edwards. And the stick by Caleb Hill.
Hill, the junior on the outside, number 2. Laid it down along with Harris, tracking him down as well. Just the hustle on this Weddington defense. These guys fly around, play full speed.
And their east to west movement defensively have been highly impressive here in the first half. A loss of 3, 2nd down. A pass, finds a man. Blake Edwards breaking free a bit. Tripped up beyond the 20-yard line. Boy, how can you get that wide open on a play like that from that portion of the field? But Edwards bails out Hoggard.
Well, nice job executing. A little bit surprised. Their one-on-one coverage. They were loading the box. That could have been a touchdown. He slipped there, but nice job getting it out and picking up the 1st down and room to operate.
Quickening the tempo. And carrying for a couple of yards on 1st down. Yeah, that could have been a fatal slip by Caleb Hill on coverage against Edwards a moment ago. Vikings down a touchdown. 2nd and 6. Wilharm Gets protection, heaves it deep down the right hash, over the shoulder catch, nearly brought in, juggled and dropped by Naz Session. That could not have been the better pass for Will Harm.
Well, of course, an opportunity missed here, but Hoggard will go back to this play because Session beat the secondary with his speed, and then that throw from Will Harm, perfect. So you miss this opportunity, but expect the Vikings to go back to this same play again and try it over the top.
Well, I have not followed Hoggard football week by week this year, but my money is on that's probably the first pure drop on a deep ball like that Sessions has had all year. Third down. Will Harm facing a three-man rush over the middle through traffic and juggle. That's brought in, and there goes Session into Weddington territory. And what a bit of overcoming on the very next play. Credit Will Harm for looking his way, and that time it was a low fingertip grab that was brought in by Session.
Well, I love how he went right back to him, having confidence in his star junior. Will Harm knew exactly where he was going. Harris right in his face, and that's a difficult catch. That ball thrown high, he had to juggle it, and then goes off here across midfield. Nice job between those two executing.
Is that immediate atonement for Session? Hardy's first down for Hoggard. Ball nose just inside the 30-yard line. Quick pass left side one more time. Session. Goal tackle around the 25.
The past 3 plays to number 7. Let's go again. And for Session right now, he's the best wide receiver. And he's got the speed, his route running. He can get in and out of breaks for his size. He's a big kid, around 200 pounds, a college prospect.
Guaranteeing his head, he's saying right back to me. High snap brought down by Will Harm. He'll go the opposite way into double coverage, but overshoots Blake Edwards there.
They use Session over on the left side. And the defensive focus, there was a safety over there as well, shaded over. They went towards Edwards. Now sets up a 3rd and 7 situation. Hoggard has a great kicker. But of course, you want to continue this drive. Try to get something over the middle to Session, maybe a crossing route, get him going in motion, something to try to get him loose.
Indeed, the 19-yard line on 3rd and 7 for the Vikings, trailing 14-7. Will Harm rolls right, gets a block, throws on the move, and finds Session again down near the 10-yard line. Another picture-perfect pass, and I don't think Session's going to drop another ball all night.
Well, we are seeing high-level quarterback play. Look at this throw from Will Harm on the run. Knows exactly where he's going with the ball. Threads it between 2 defenders, hitting Session in stride.
So down to the 9-yard line, 1st and goal inside the Talk It Out NC red zone. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. Long look to the Hoggard sideline.
This drive started off at the 1-yard line.
3 receivers to the right, none to the bottom of the screen. First down carry for maybe a yard.
There's TJ Davis making the tackle. So athletic, physical, and run support. Continuing to grow, right around 205 pounds.
Gain of 1 for Tamir Webb. He remains in the backfield. Deployed out in motion. Pressure coming backside. Tip pass juggled in the air, and it's picked off by Weddington. Aiden Harris off the top blade of grass on a double deflected pass inside the 10-yard line. And Weddington slams the door on a Hoggard would have been 99-yard drive.
Weddington has been so good in the red zone on the defensive end, and there it was Harris knocking the ball down. It was his arms in the passing lane. Aiden Harris comes back and hustles and then intercepts it. Just a great job of reading the eyes, getting your arms up, and then not giving up on the play.
A timely interception for the Weddington Warriors, and the turnover oversized cap is the award.
That's great.
So Weddington turns away a Hoggard. They traverse, 93 yards from the 1 yard line, and they turn over the 6. On a first down pass, out of bounds at the right sideline. Second down for Weddington.
Andy Capone was going for it. One-on-one coverage with Jackson. And they're looking for the deep play. The ball just sailed a little bit. But for this defense, getting that turnover back. Now each side has one turnover.
I mean, we see huge gold chains. We see WWE wrestling belts as kind of the merchandise after turnovers. I mean, that's a hat you would see on a baseball field mascot's hat. Ritzy the tackle there, and suddenly it's third down and long, and nothing happening yet on this Weddington sideline. I'd like Kendall Smith to go down to find out the story behind that beautiful turnover hat that evidently is given to all the players who force turnovers for Weddington's defense. I know Kendall will be right on it. Third down and 11. Marker dropped.
Budge went with the hard count. Looks like Hoggard's going to get the penalty jumping off sides.
Prior to the snap, encroachment number 13 lined up in the neutral zone on the defense. 5-yard penalty will remain third down.
So that'll move the football out 5 yards, but still be about 3rd and 6, 6.5. Ball shy of the 12-yard line for Tyler Budge and the Warriors, who lead 14-7. Clock running, 6:20 for the first half. An entertaining 4A title game so far. Throw off the back foot, connects with Keenan Jackson. Jackson out to the 25-yard line. That will be plenty for a first down. Boy, he is the guy to look for when you need a play and need some yardage. Look for number 11 in green.
He's the real deal. And Tyler Budge and Jackson have a connection. Now Budge 9 for 12 on the day. And I'll tell you what, Budge was standing strong in the pocket. Malachi West was flying off the edge, hit him as he threw that ball.
6 catches for 71 now for Jackson. Fresh set it down to the 25. Plenty of time on the play clock for Budge. Right now it's at 5, and now we will see Weddington spend a timeout. 5:41 left first half. Weddington football off of the Hoggard red zone turnover. Warriors lead by 7. This is the 4A State Football Championships presented by Tatum and Atkinson, the heavy hitters. The Dealers of the Carolinas halftime report coming up in just a couple of moments. We'll visit with the commissioner of the NCHSAA, Q Tucker, have highlights from their first half and more. Find the perfect Honda for you during Happy Honda Days. See your local Honda Dealers of the Carolinas today. First down, Weddington. They swing it out to Jackson for the 8th time in this first half. 2 missed, swerving forward, still on his feet, and then undercut with a knee-high tackler on the 45-yard line.
Heck of a job from Jackson. The assist from Will Belton, his wide receiver teammate, number 18. Blocked 2 or 3 guys here. Swing pass. And then there's 18 down the bottom of the screen. One man continues to fight. There another block. This is just excellent work out on the perimeter. Everybody chipping in.
First down, little juggle on the snap. Bounces right back up into Budge's hands. Now he will improv going forward. And he'll turn what could have been a turnover into a carry for +3. And we do now have the mystery solved, Jay, on the turnover hat for the Weddington Warriors. Kendall Smith is on point, and she has the details.
You guys ask, and I will deliver. I found out this is called the Noggin Boss, and Coach Capone wanted to implement it this year. The Warriors already had a turnover rock prior to this season. They still have the rock that players will pull the sword out of once they force a turnover, but now they put on this huge hat. I asked Athletic Director Mike Hart why they do it. He said, I don't know, because Andy's weird. So there you have it, guys.
Is that expensible? Can you put that on an expense report, Jay? Moving forward, big carry here for Brady Ritter, his best of the game. And Weddington is back inside Hoggard territory. I don't know.
I just think that's
try
amazing.
and get it past my CPA. Sure.
Yeah, I just think that's amazing.
Business related.
Counter play, and Ritter knows how to find a hole. Good job finishing this off and getting another big gain on the ground.
Another timeout on the field. 4:42 remaining first half. driving Weddington +7 for the 4A title. Well, stay tuned toward the end of tonight's contest. We will have the Carolina Carport play of the game. Carolina Carport, quality is our first priority. Weddington driving with a 14-7 lead. First down from the 31-yard line. Long swing pass. It's a double pass. A throw and a triple coverage toward the end zone. Penalty marker flies in. It looked like the intended receiver, Brady Ritter, was held and hooked. And this will be a penalty on Hoggard, the first real trick play of the game for Weddington. Keenan Jackson kind of doing it all.
Yeah.
Fumble recovery for a touchdown. 8 catches already, including 1 for a score. And he was the one on that second pass, heaving it downfield. Pretty tight spiral as well, right? Here's the call from Ronnie Blau.
There's no foul on the play.
Jay, they have picked up the flag.
Second down.
Andy Capone wants to know why. What do you think?
It looked like there was contact. We'll see here.
Arm appears to be hooked right there.
Yeah.
Surprised
they picked it up.
How do you think that discussion went down?
I mean, to me, that flag should have stood. Not quite sure where the decision was changed, but to me, that was evident.
2nd and 10. Budge, the give. Nothing.
Now this defense now, that you've got to get a stop. You cannot allow a touchdown on this drive, turnover, or try to force a field goal. Nice job by Hoggard just stuffing up the running lanes.
It's one of the few times tonight the Hoggard defense has hemmed in Nick Diamond.
Keenan Jackson split out wide, top of the screen. I'd roll a safety over towards him. Looks like they're going to keep him in one-on-one coverage out on an island.
Single coverage up top. That's Jackson. 3rd and 10 for Weddington. We'll see if Budge looks his way. He doesn't. Down the middle of the field, and he overshoots his intended man. Looking for Gavin Schrader. And it's now 4th down.
Well, there's one-on-one coverage there as well. Schrader beat the man. Now the offense staying out on the field, at least for the time being. Looks like they're going to go for it.
Everett Scott is their place kicker, 7 of 9 in field goals, but from here you're talking 48 yards. So Budge will stay on the field. Certainly look for Keenan Jackson here, number 11. And we get a timeout taken by the Vikings.
Timeout, Hoggard. That is their first timeout of the half.
By the way, going into that last break, we thought there was a timeout. There was actually an injured lineman for a Hoggard. David Drayton went to the sideline, so no timeouts were assessed. So that's the first one taken by Hoggard here in the half. A reminder coming up, the Tatum and Atkinson player of the game. We will select that toward the end of tonight's contest. Tatum and Atkinson injured in a car wreck and called the heavy hitters. Are the Vikings faithful? They were flowing through the turnstiles and down to the aisles and their sections of seats as early as they were allowed. Again, a little bit of a delay from the original start time. Kickoff time was scheduled to be 7:06. But the 2A state championship went a little bit long. They kind of raced through the trophies ceremonies on the field. So hence about a 10-minute delay from our original kickoff time. But I tell you what, the lower bowl of Carter Finley on both sides, very well populated.
It's a big 4th down.
Offense stays on the field for Weddington with a 14-7 lead. 3:49 left first half. Empty backfield. One-hand catch and a snap. There's the cross, and there's Jackson again with some blockers left and right. Spins forward, does get the first down. To the 17-yard line, and a big pickup there on 4th and 10.
Weddington guessed that there would be pressure, and they predicted correctly. They go with the screen. Jackson goes across the middle. The gates open up. Perfect play call against pressure, and they get the first down.
8 catches, and he is already over 100 yards, and now is the all-time Union County single-season receiver. He's had to talk it out, NC red zone. Budge with motivation forward on that attempt. Picks up about 3 straight up the middle.
And for Weddington, you get that first down. Now the goal is we're getting a touchdown. We're also going to use this clock and limit the time for Hoggard to get the ball back.
Hoggard led by a touchdown. Barely more than 2 minutes into the opening quarter. They've been shut out since a turnover in the red zone. Costly. And Weddington looking to go up a couple of scores. Handoff. Diamond swings wide. Goes to pylon. Tiptoes in. Touchdown Weddington. Nick Diamond. 17-yard carry, and Weddington takes a 20-7 lead in the 4A title game.
Well, with Nick Diamond, you get a runner that's physical in between the tackles, somebody that looks for contact. You also get a back that's elusive on the outside and that has speed, that can break it out on the perimeter. There he is, looks up the middle, fake towards the inside, goes back outside, and then a clear path. Keenan Jackson blocking out, pulls his hands back, easy access to the end zone.
Diamond had 9 rushing touchdowns over the course of the regular season and through the first 5 rounds of the playoffs. Extra point good. Weddington leads by 14. Boy, Diamond, you said it earlier in the game, Jay. You're right on. He runs positively angry. I mean, positively in a positive sense for his team. I mean, if you're on defense trying to bring him down, good luck. He's coming right after you no matter what.
Well, the most dangerous type of back is somebody that'll run you over, but then he has the speed to run past you. And that's exactly what Diamond has, only a junior. What a year he's had. Maybe playing his best ball game here in the first half. He's been really good running the ball, and also it set up the play action pass for Budge in the passing game.
And right now a cheery sideline in green student section making the drive over from Matthews. Top seed out of the West, 13-2. And they took a loss to Butler. Their biggest win of the year came in not only a non-conference game, but an intra-state game against Dutch Fork of South Carolina. They went on to win a state title in South Carolina last week, but they really felt like that was kind of the tipping point of their year as they were gearing up for the playoffs. They did slip up in the regular season finale against Marvin Ridge, but once they got past Chambers in round 2, all systems go for the Warriors. Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue kickoff. Break away from Everday with Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. Deep kick into the red and white of the end zone. Touchback for Hoggard.
For Hoggard, you need a response. We talked about how you handle adversity, momentum shifts. Well, the early strike from Hoggard put Weddington on their heels. They've found a response. Now Craig Underwood and his team, they've got to find a spark on the offense. They get a big play. They had some opportunities with Session. They've got to go back to him. So plenty of time. Plus you've got a couple timeouts.
Here is the Windsor Jewelers scoring summary. 12 plays, 92 yards. Capped off by the touchdown run by Diamond. So Hoggard 2 timeouts left and 2:40 and running on the clock for the first half. Trailing 21-7. And netting maybe 2 on that first down carry. Matthew Massaro, number 33, and on the stop of Bellamy.
And here, taking their time. We'll see if they pick up a first down, if they start to go more up-tempo. But kind of a game here with Weddington, the 1 timeout. You don't want to go too fast and give Weddington more time if you don't pick up the first down.
And Session, the top receiver for Hoggard, pocket collapses and forces Wilhelm to kind of zigzag forward back almost to the original line of scrimmage.
This is a really good offensive line for Hoggard going against one of the best D-lines in the state. It's been fun to watch those two sides working against each other. Wilharm gets up the middle just to try to get anything, just a couple yards at least, to help this third down situation coming up.
James, tell me what, Weddington still has one timeout left. This is 3rd and almost 10. If the Warrior defense gets a stop right here, look for them to call a timeout and get the ball back with maybe a minute plus. A lot of time here for Wilharm. Breaks down, he falls down and takes a sack back near the 10. Had time, it finally dissipated. The pocket then surrounded him. And the timeout is taken by Weddington with 1:22 left. And Wilharm will hobble over to the sideline, and the Vikings will punt it away.
So this was a coverage sack, and the offensive line held up. And then as Naz Session broke free right here, Wilharm saw it, but then the pressure finally got to him.
I mean, he was making that hard shoulder fake ready to unleash it, lost the football. Fortunately for him, it fell right at his feet, and he was able to reach forward and cover it up.
Matthew Massaro, the senior defensive end, number 33, is who broke through to get the pressure.
A reminder, stay tuned. The Honda dealers of the Carolinas halftime report is a minute 22 seconds away. Special interview with the commissioner of the NCHSAA, that's Q Tucker. We'll have highlights from this first half and more. You can find the perfect Honda for your usage during a happy Honda Day. See your local Honda dealers of the Carolinas today. We talked about a perfectly scripted start for Hoggard, opening 2 minutes. Defense forced a turnover, one offensive play, they're in the end zone. Everything's all sun and roses for the Vikings, but really nothing since that. That one long drive that nearly led to a score, but they turned it over inside the 10. And now, prior to the snap, a whistle blown before a potential punt. They will reset the play clock. And now, Jay, if you're Weddington, are you coming after this punt?
I think you're laying off. You don't want to risk a penalty and set up your return.
And the punt is sent away low on a line. One hops to the 50-yard line, simply escorted out of bounds. So McDermott covers it up, makes a secure catch of the bounce, and assures Weddington with the football with 76 seconds left, up by 14 points. Now it's a critical juncture for the Hoggard Viking defense.
No, for Hoggard here, force somebody else other than Jackson to get the ball. Funnel it somewhere else than him, because he's on fire in the first half already. 8 catches for 105 yards.
And 137 through the air for Budge. 105 of those accounted for by Keenan Jackson. And he will be all by himself at the bottom of the screen. Man-to-man coverage there. The ball on the hash at the top of the screen. 49-yard line, first down, 1:16 for the half for Weddington. Budge looks the other way. And a nice conservative play call right there to pick up some yardage in that left sideline. Will Melton makes his first reception of the game.
Yeah, quick out by Melton, the junior. Positive start to the drive.
Pickup of 7.
Budge in the shotgun. Hoggard's defense has to be careful as that pocket collapses. Budge can get out and use his legs.
That play took only 5 seconds. Second down. Budge now is looking Jackson's way. Finds him on a hard slant. Makes the grab at the 32-yard line. That will stop the clock as they move the chains. That is catch number 9 in his first half for Keenan Jackson. Hardy's first down. Hardy's goodness in the making. Clock begins to tick. We're under a minute for the half. Budge chased out. Throws against the grain. What a pass he makes. Threading one through near the 20-yard line. Off the wrong foot, through coverage, and put it right in the center of the bullseye.
Now, Budge has special ability. That's an NFL-type throw. Sidearm off his right leg, going against his body. You have to throw a perfect ball that could have been intercepted, and he delivered.
On Brady Ritter down to the 21-yard line. A ton of time, relatively speaking, for where they are on the field. 50 seconds and counting. Budge looks toward the end zone. Wants Jackson again. Deep corner. Over the shoulder attempt. and he brings it home. Keenan Jackson, a miraculous catch in the back right corner of the end zone. An otherworldly first half by Jackson. 20-point lead for Weddington.
It's been Jackson's night. It budge. Perfect throw where only your guy can get it. The hand-eye coordination focuses on it. That ball juggles a little bit. But this ball is perfectly spotted. He wraps it against his helmet.
Jay, he froze the tip of the football against his face mask and did it with strength, and the ball didn't move on the way down.
He holds it up. What a play.
Show me better. I mean, we're witnessing a very special night. 45 seconds left in the first half, and Weddington has now broken it out to a 3-touchdown lead.
He can do it all. And it's the passion that he plays with, fighting for that ball. Of course he has talent. You can tell he loves the game. Those situations where the ball's up for grabs, he seems to always find a way to come down with it.
We've been so lucky, partner, today to see the 2A and 4A championship games with just incredibly gifted high school football players who still have room to grow, room to gain strength, but we are seeing clearly not just some of the best players in the state, some of the best players in the country.
Well, it really is amazing because we talk about these guys being best in the country and going to the next level. I mean, you see these guys, and not only at the next level do I think they'll excel. There's NFL futures with some of these players. It just stands out. It's just amazing to see the development of these players and how good they are at such young of an age.
Scott will kick it away for Weddington. Blake Edwards is back to return. 28-7 Weddington. 45 seconds left in this first half. Edwards with a returnable kick finally. Strings it wide. Bear hug down around the 13-yard line. James Colonna on the special teams tackle. Here's a look at the scoring summary of the drive we just saw, brought to you by Windsor Jewelers. Well, that was the danger of Hoggard unable to hold on to the football for the final couple minutes. He gave it back on a 3-and-out. 4 plays, 49 yards later, and Keenan Jackson right in the middle of it again.
It was really set up by the defense, giving that offense excellent field position right around midfield.
So what will Hoggard do right now? They will get the football to begin the third quarter. Hoggard still 2 timeouts. They put it on the ground on first down, and nothing there at all for Webb. And if they were harboring any thoughts, the Vikings, of doing anything offensively to get points on the board, that's going to be extinguished on that first down run.
Braden Barger comes through with the initial hit. Defense only giving up 3 rushing yards.
Tell you what, I would almost be keen to take a knee here and not even risk a handoff, because if this ball springs loose, you're near the goal line. We saw what happened back in the first quarter. And that is exactly what the Vikings will do. So they will run out the final couple of seconds, and the Weddington Warriors, 3-time state champs, but at the 3AA level, they're 24 minutes away from their first ever 4A title. Keenan Jackson has put on a demonstration the first half. 10 catches, 136 yards, and 2 scores. And Tyler Budge has shaken off a pretty shaky first couple of minutes, and he's been stellar. Let's go downstairs to Kendall Smith.
Coach, Keenan Jackson has been unstoppable in this first half. Hoggard hasn't been able to stop him. Why?
Yeah, I mean, they're playing some man, and we're just taking shots, and he's going and making a play. You know, we feel like we got some good rhythm going with him and Budge, and he's creating separation and just doing what he's been doing all year.
What do you want to see more of from your team in the second half?
Just a finish mentality. I mean, we came out, we did a great job of responding after a bad early interception, and then put 28 straight up, but we still got 24 minutes to play, so we just can't have the too high mentality. We got to finish for 24 more.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thanks a lot, Kendall. Thank you, Coach. 28-7 is the lead. for the Weddington Warriors as they pursue their first ever 4A state title. Work to do for Hoggard. And we'll come back with the Honda Dealers of the Carolinas halftime report from NC State's Carter Finley Stadium. Weddington leads 28-7 in the break.
Welcome to the Honda Dealers of the Carolinas halftime report. Find the perfect Honda for you during the Happy Honda Days. See your local Honda Dealers of the Carolinas today.
Hey everybody, this is Friday Night Rivals. I'm Nelson Weston, and like all of y'all, I'm ready for some good old-fashioned state championship high school football, baby. And who better to join us than our good friend from Ingalls Markets, Melissa Level. Melissa, are you excited about the game?
I'm excited about the game. What a great season it's been for both of the teams, and we're going to find out who the best of the best is.
Indeed we are. Now, speaking of high school championships, can you share with us the significance of Ingalls supporting high school athletics?
Well, supporting high school athletics is part of an overall plan of supporting high school education, or education in general. Children are our future, they're our culture. We're looking forward to following them through that journey. So athletics is just a very big part of our community. People love high school football, and they love our kids. So good place for Ingalls to be.
Absolutely. And speaking of Ingalls, you and I both know that Ingalls is undoubtedly the place you want to shop for all your delicious, mouth-watering tailgating specials.
Absolutely.
What all can we expect in these specials? What kind of food are we talking about?
We can keep it simple. You can go right to the wing bar and pick up a set of wonderful wings, all sorts of different flavors, a great big salad, or you can go to the deli and get a wonderful fresh-made sub with boar's head meat, or you can just get a little creative, go back and get the best meat of town, grill up a steak, get yourself a salad from the fresh produce in the deli, and a little bit of a baked potato on the side.
A steak and a salad and a baked potato on the side, that would definitely hit the spot right about now.
Definitely, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
I'll see you there.
Of course. You and I both know that when it comes to the Tools for Schools program, it is very impactful in the community. But those who may be unfamiliar, can you share with us an overview of Tools for Schools? And more importantly, can you also share with us how does somebody get involved with it?
Tools for School is a partnership between Ingalls, our customers, and our school community. It's through the Ingalls Advantage Card. Every time you shop at Ingalls and use your Ingalls Advantage Card, if you register with the school of your choice, you are going to be donating to that school. Teachers then can buy supplies, big or small, all the way down from pencils all the way up to air conditioning systems, band uniforms, all sorts of wonderful things. It keeps the teachers money in their own pocket and allows them to stock the school supplies with what they need.
That's terrific. Melissa, keep up the great work.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's get her done.
Let's get her done indeed. Folks, this is Friday Night Rivals. And now, time for some championship football. Let's get it.
Welcome to the Honda Dealers of the Carolinas halftime report. Find the perfect Honda for you during the Happy Honda Days. See your local Honda Dealers of the Carolinas today.
Commissioner Tucker, we appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for having me.
This year's seniors came into the program in 2020 when COVID started. How special does it make this year's state championship games given the uncertain start?
This certainly is a moment that they can really cherish because they started with uncertainty. Maybe they made it to that playoff, that shortened playoff season we had. Maybe they made it to that championship. But then the idea that if we continue to be a part of this program, maybe we'll get back to what is normal and we'll be able to start in August and we'll be able to get back to a state championship that is held in December. And so for some of these young people, that is actually what's happening. And so there's a sense of accomplishment, I think.
There are plenty of familiar teams in this year's championship games. What do you think makes these programs successful year in and year out?
Some of them have little league programs where their coaches are involved. Maybe they're not coaching those teams, but they have an opportunity to talk to those little people. It filters on upward into a middle school and then a junior varsity program. And if those programs are successful, then ultimately your varsity program is going to be successful. And I think that's why we see a lot of these teams showing up year after year after year playing in this final game.
What has been the biggest challenge for the association in the last year?
Well, I think there's several things. One is just the ongoing concern we have as it relates to officiating. We certainly are encouraged that we're getting new folk to go through the process, get some training, and then get out on the court, on the field, whatever the case may be. I think the other challenge that we have continued to deal with is just behavior. We took up the initiative that the National Federation put forth a year or so ago, and that is bench bad behavior. And of course, everyone knows that we have continued to deal with the legislative involvement in our association. We'll continue to try to make sure that we're providing memories that match these moments that our young people are experiencing, and that we are providing the leadership and governance for our schools that they want.
What are you most proud of accomplishing as an association in the past year?
I'm just proud of the membership. I'm proud of what they do on a daily basis, and how they continue to lead and guide our young people.
Thank you for your leadership, Commissioner Tucker, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the NCHSAA and education-based athletics. So thank you for what you do to provide that platform for us.
Welcome to the Honda Dealers of the Carolinas Halftime Report. Find the perfect Honda for you during the Happy Honda Days. See your local Honda Dealers of the Carolinas today.
Thank you for joining us, and we appreciate your time.
Yes, thank you.
How can someone find help if they're in crisis and need more support?
In North Carolina, we have a fantastic resource. It's 988. You can call, chat, or text 988 and talk to crisis counselors 24/7. It's anonymous. They can get you help right away or tell you about other resources in the community.
What happens when someone reaches out to the Lifeline?
So they will walk you through a series of questions just to make sure you're safe, and that they'll talk to you as long or as much as you need. We have a diverse range of crisis counselors that answer our phone. We've got special lines if you're Spanish speaking. If you identify as LGBTQ+, we have our Trevor line. We have a veterans line. We have text and chat features. We want to make sure that our line is accessible and inclusive for everyone that wants to call and wants help.
Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to add?
To talk and say, hey, I notice you're not yourself lately and I care. It's important to recognize those signs, to talk about them out loud, and to ask. People worry that if they ask, somehow it will precipitate a mental health crisis, or it might even encourage someone to harm themselves. That's absolutely not true. We should check on each other. We care about each other. So acknowledge when you see things wrong. If you don't know how to talk, call 988. If you're a parent, if you're a friend and you don't know how to talk to your loved one, call 988 and they can give you some pointers about how to have those kind of conversations.
28-7 is our halftime lead. Weddington on top of the Hoggard Vikings for the 4A state championship. Patrick Keenis, Jay Sohnhalter back up here in the booth. And boy, what a first half it was. First 2 minutes, if you're a Weddington fan, you're saying, uh-oh, what's going to happen tonight? Down by 7, 2 minutes in, 28 unanswered points, and your defense has given up sub 100 yards.
Yeah, we had action right from the beginning, and Hoggard came out here and looked like they were going to be the aggressor, really take hold of this ball game, and then Weddington came back. They fought through the adversity, 28 unanswered points, and here was the first turnover. Hoggard gets the ball right on the doorstep of the end zone. Next play, let's do play action pass, score a touchdown, and they were on fire. Their fans were into it. Here's the play action over to Kilborn, the tight end. They got on the board and looked like they were going to get off to a hot start and carry that momentum. Weddington quickly took it back.
Yeah, that was the high watermark for the Vikings in that first half. This was the big bit of fortune for Weddington. On the way in, fumbled it, but picked up by Jackson. And that would tie the game. And then Weddington was really off to the races offensively.
It was Jackson's first half. 10 catches, 136 yards, 1 fumble recovery for a touchdown, and then 2 through the air. And he really took hold of this game. One-on-one coverage on the outside. He was taking advantage of those mismatches. And then the defense came back here. Drew Harris tips this ball and then flies in for the interception to make it 1-1 on the turnover battle.
That was the real key moment for Hoggard, trying to get back into the game. Interception inside the 10-yard line on the doorstep. And then Weddington with Nick Diamond, who's been an unheralded guy in the first half, but he's been a power source offensively.
Yeah, and he's really set the tempo, and then the play action pass has allowed opportunities for Tyler Budge. 15 for 19 in the first half. efficient, accurate. He's known where to go with the ball, and it's gone Jackson's way.
And 4 incompletions for Budge the first half. Frankly, he probably shouldn't have that many. A couple of drops, but there are the numbers. 103 total yards for Hoggard, 9 rushing yards. The defense has been solid for Weddington.
Well, the passing game for Weddington has been the source for this big lead, each side even on other aspects. Now Hoggard's going to come out and have to get off to a good start here in the third quarter.
And football will belong to Hoggard when we come back. Third quarter begins of the 4A state championship game from NC State. Weddington with a 28-7 lead on the Hoggard Vikings. Second half is next. With a 28-7 lead on Hoggard. Patrick Keenis, Jason Halter, Kendall Smith down in the sidelines. Well, Hoggard's going to get the football here, Jay. What type of changes, particularly on the defensive side, are you expecting to see as it pertains specifically to Keenan Jackson?
Well, I think they've got to go to zone coverage, and instead of bringing the extra man in the box, they've got to play off of him, bring the safeties back, and try to keep everything in front. And then on the offensive side, I think they have to try to find a way to run the ball. They have to go back to Nas Sessions as well.
All right, there's the opening kickoff of this second half, brought to you by Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue. Returnable kick for the Vikings. Can they get a big special teams play? And the answer is no. A frustrating slam of the football into the grass by Blake Edwards, brought down right around the 21. And let's go downstairs to Kendall Smith, who caught up with Craig Underwood, the head coach of the Vikings. What do you have to say, Kendall?
Yeah, guys, I asked Coach what the team needs to do to get back into this one, and he said, first of all, we need to tighten up on defense and in our pass coverage. He said the offense needs to put together some more drives, and they said that they just need to get better field position. He said Weddington's doing a really good job of giving themselves short fields. We need to do that. He said it's a big third quarter, and his guys are ready.
Here is the start of their big third quarter. They really only had one constructive offensive drive, and they take a shot down the near sideline on first down. Incomplete. Will Harm in the opening half was 10 of 14 for only 94 yards, though. Did hook up on that one touchdown pass to begin the contest with Kilborn. But they have some threats. I mean, there was a little bit of rhythm between Will Harm and Naz Session for a period, really one drive. We'll see if that can be sustained further on in the game.
Well, he was 10 for 14 in the first half. I think we'll see him take some more shots through the air.
Quarterback draw, little slip as he drove forward up the left hash. A couple of yards there for Will Harm. And already a third and long presented itself to the Vikings.
Yeah, he was the conference player of the year. Everybody that you talk with in the program speaks so highly of Will Harm. Just the type of person he is. The kid he is, high academics, outstanding football player. He's the total package, and he's going to have to bring his team back in this third quarter.
Even Reagan Princey, his teammate, we talked with him earlier in the week. I said, who's made the biggest steps really year over year from last year to this? And Will Harm was at the top of his list. 3rd and 8, a dart, but the receiver, Session actually went out of bounds, trying to come back in. That would not have counted anyway. It's a quick 3 and out for Hoggard.
Sam Neely was lined up against Session. Neely going to Wake Forest in 10 days. 10 days left of his high school time here. And a long, rangy cornerback, 6'1". He's got a bright future at the next level.
So Weddington forces a quick punt from a Hoggard. Didn't even hold the football for a minute to begin this third quarter. 28 unanswered points for the Warriors. Oh, and it got a hand on it, blocked the punt, picked up by the Warriors, and run in. T.J. Davis picked it up off of the ground, the block by Aiden Harris, and Weddington, in a sudden change, seizes absolute control of this 4A title game.
Well, Aiden Harris coming off the field in pain. He was Superman. Look at his effort on this. Right up the middle, a twist. And look at number 6. Gives up his body, unselfish. The vertical jump, and as he's in pain, T.J. Davis picks that up, takes it in for a touchdown. Look at this effort. Just flying through the sky. He's already had an interception there, blocks the punt. And T.J. Davis picks it up. What a start for the Warriors.
Hey, we talked earlier in the broadcast about those 3 players, the twins and T.J. Davis. They're all sophomores, and we've seen what a huge imprint that they have had on this football game in the state championship. I mean, those are next level plays. And Andy Capone, he is going to be seeking a contract extension, a raise over the next couple of years with those guys playing for him 2 more full seasons. 34-7 Weddington. I mean, it's not as though it was one-on-one guarding the punter up the middle. I mean, he leapt over 3 different players.
He was executed. The wall was there. He just made a special type of play.
And the unanswered run for Weddington continues. 35 points in a row since they were stunned 2 minutes into the title game, down a touchdown. It's now Weddington rolling up 35-7. Well, there's the longtime NFLer Thomas Davis providing halftime snacks as he has done all year long for this Weddington team. He picked the right assortment of snacks here today because we just saw his son TJ Davis scoop up a block punt by that man Aiden Harris, and it's 35-7. And I said, if you have any left over down that locker room and you're watching the game down there, we're on the 3rd floor. Just find us. The door behind us is unlocked. 35-7 Weddington. Warriors will kick it away. Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue kickoff. Edwards from the 5. And again, swarmed under, but prior to the 20-yard line. And another long field for the Hoggard Vikings.
And other than that initial turnover to begin the ball game, there just hasn't been that spark play from Hoggard. And huge deficit right now, Patrick. But you just got to find a way to get something back here. Try to get a big offensive play and try to gain some confidence as you move forward through the rest of the game.
I mean, it's hard when you're 15, 17, 18 years old not to look at that scoreboard and just be overwhelmed in a state title game with what do we do now? Because you can't score 28 points in the next 5 minutes here for Hoggard. But you can show some character, show some pride, stick to your coach's game plan, trust them, trust your teammates, and somehow try and construct a rally here.
Well, I think the goal has to be, hey, let's just win the remaining part of this 3rd quarter. Next 10 minutes and 30 seconds, let's get some plays, let's get more consistent and try to win this quarter.
I think it could even be more simple than that. Just get a first down. Start with a first down and see if you can build some momentum. 2nd and 8. And there's a little juggling catch made by Session, and he will take it close to the 30, and there is the first down for the Vikings.
A strong throw from Hudson Wilharm, standing in the pocket, knowing where he wants to go with the ball. He read the coverage, and Session comes back on the crossing route.
NC 529 first down. Never too late or too early to start saving for education with NC 529. Wilharm, throw it again. Deep ball, has a man looking for Session and connects. Big play, needed play for the Vikings all the way down to the 29-yard line.
Well, they go back to the deep post to Session. We saw it in the first half. They go back to it here. Wins with speed, one-on-one on the outside. Beautiful throw from Wilharm over the top of the shoulder of Session. And here's the focus. He is a talented wide receiver, one of the best in the state, only a junior.
He's 42 yards on the reception, down to the 29-yard line of the Warriors. That'll be an injection of confidence. Wilharm rolling right, pressure coming, throws toward the sideline, threw it behind the intended receiver, wanted Sessions again.
Sessions being highly recruited. When you look at the talent, we were talking during the halftime break, it's just amazing to see all these players out in the field and what they can do, and you just project them at the next level. A lot of guys that'll have a big impact in college.
Bad snap, chase down near midfield, and Wilharm didn't cover it up. And the football is picked up by the Weddington Warriors. And an unforced error. Jaden Morris dove on it. Quarterbacking 101 right there. If the snap is bad, you're trying to track it out. Don't think about picking it up and make a play. preserve the possession. And Wilharm overran it, and Weddington forces another turnover. Terrible snap high over the head of Wilharm.
Jaden Morris just hustling, gives the ball back to his offense. And this defense plays so hard. Well, here we go.
The Noggin Cap makes another appearance. Oh, I did get a text from my CPA in that second quarter.
Oh, you did?
She said, don't try. First down for Weddington, inside Hoggard territory. Big gap up the middle, and there goes Nick Diamond from 47 yards. And the route is on for the Weddington Warriors.
Now over 100 yards. The blocking up front has been so good throughout the night. That O-line on the right side, Jimmy Randazzo, Owen Dunn, Maverick Schrock clearing out the path, and Diamond doing his work. That top end speed, you just see him break through the line of scrimmage. It was off to the races.
Jay, that's 2 touchdowns by Weddington in the last 2 minutes and 8 seconds. One on a punt block for a touchdown. And now after the high snap and the turnover near midfield, Diamond the payoff. 42-7 Weddington on their way to their first ever 4A state title. The student section for the Weddington Warriors, who have made the trip over from Matthews, they're going to have about the next hour to map out their course of celebration tonight. 42-7 in favor of Weddington. And Jay, the last 3 scoring drives for Weddington, 31 seconds at the end of the second quarter. The punt block for a touchdown, and then they one play after the turnover on a 47-yard touchdown dash by Nick Diamond. That will rip your heart out if you're the Hoggard Vikings. Edwards past the 20, gets to the outside, and angles himself out of bounds at the 35. That's where the drive will begin for the Vikings. Kendall has more on this tsunami of points for Weddington down the sidelines.
Guys, you can hear some of the players yelling Hoka Hey. It's been Weddington's team motto now for years, and it was first introduced to the program by 79-year-old assistant coach Dexter Martini. It basically means let your selfish desires die for the team, school, and community. And it's something that Weddington's players have taken to heart so much that a couple of alumni have it tattooed on them, and even Andy Capone got in on the ink action this past summer.
Well, there goes Wilharm breaking away. He may take it the distance. And there is Hudson Wilharm carrying it home from 64 yards. Touchdown Hoggard. And finally some smiles for the Vikings and their fans.
Yeah, that's what they're looking for. A big play, a spark play. Wilharm, little fake handoff. He's 6'5", 200 pounds. And his speed is something, we talk about his arm strength and how good he is throwing the ball. This is something with his game that he'll be able to take to the college level. Nice job there, just getting a big play for his team.
And the extra point booted through, 42-14. We thought it was remarkable 2 minutes into the opening quarter to see the quick score by Hoggard. We have now seen, Jay, 21 points in the first 2 minutes. Check that, 3 minutes and 8 seconds of this third quarter.
These offenses listen to the message at the halftime break. I mean, coming out here, putting points on the board, and Andy Capone didn't want to give up that big play. Talked about Wilharm being recruited by MIT, Johns Hopkins, other Division I schools in on the action with him.
Well, the touchdowns are coming so fast and furious. We're a little behind on our scoring summaries. This is the last one, covering 65 yards. The Windsor Jewelers scoring summary. Happily Ever After always begins at Windsor Jewelers. And here's the prior one on the Nick Diamond run. One play for 47 yards. Windsor Jewelers getting its money's worth tonight. 42-14, Weddington leading Hoggard. I guarantee on the sideline right now, Wilhelm says, get me the ball back. Because these players never lose faith that they can't come back and win a football game. And he's now reliant on his defense to do so. Here's the approach and the Smithfield's chicken and barbecue kickoff. From the 1, returnable for Weddington. Out to the 20-yard line, breaking forward, stepping through, and there goes the Weddington returner, Anthony Barino, the freshman, all the way into Viking territory, close to the 40. It's about a 57-yard return by the freshman.
So Barino lets his blockers set up, and then nice cutback, and then sets it up again here, and it's just one-on-one. Throws a man off, but then Hoggard hustling down to bring him down. Only a freshman. We've seen him being involved on offense. Andy Capone trusting him in the kicking game, and it pays off.
Normally, you don't see the future of a high school football program until they're maybe juniors, sometimes sophomores. We're seeing sophomores who are making huge impressions, and even a freshman. Here's one of the big sophomores for Weddington, who is just going to be a monster across the state of North Carolina the next couple of years. First down handoff. And Ritter close to the 30. Give him almost 10. Move the chains. 10-yard pickup for Ritter. And see 5:29 first down for the Warriors. 42-14, Weddington leading. Budge one more time. Ritter. Submarine around the 28. Pickup 4.
The offensive line for Weddington has 4 seniors and a junior in that starting front. This is a group that has a bond of chemistry throughout the season, and they've just gotten better every single week. And it really is kind of the edge of this team, is how physical they play, and it really permeates throughout the roster.
2nd and 7 for the Warriors. Fake this time, hard slant looking for Jackson. It's broken up. Trey Nixon on the coverage for Hoggard.
Nixon slaps the ball down. That coverage was excellent.
That's about as well defended as Jackson's been all night.
As Jackson came across here, perfect job with the timing to knock it loose.
That's 3rd down now for Weddington. We've now played 5 minutes in this 3rd quarter. Delay handoff, and Ritter is collared down, tumbled forward, and with that progress, he will have enough for the 1st down.
Maverick Schrock, number 66, the center, has the key block. Delayed counter, there's 66, holding his man just long enough to allow Ritter to get through. Schrock, a baseball player, number 2 in his class, another guy, high academics, highly respected.
First down again for Weddington, down to the 22-yard line. 42-14, Warriors lead. Looking over the middle. Reversal after the catch. And inside the 15-yard line, throwing back, but they'll give him forward progress down to about the 13-yard line. That's Will Melton again for the 2nd time. 8 of 9.
There's balance on this offense with the run game, the different styles, with the counter, the power, the zone reads, as well as this passing game. It makes it so difficult on opponents because what do you take away? And Budge, who's been efficient through the air, making the right decisions. He's the leader out there, kind of orchestrating everything.
2-by-2 formation here for Weddington. Still tight coverage, man-to-man, bottom of the screen against Jackson. Looking his way. Jackson leaps up to the front pylon. He brings it in. Is he in bounds? Yes, of course he is. Keenan Jackson, another touchdown reception. And Weddington takes a 48-14 lead. Third touchdown grab by Keenan Jackson.
Here on the outside, goes up for it.
That's a catch. Heel just in.
They're talking about it.
Three officials are gathering. The replay shows compelling evidence that that foot did get in.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass.
But they overturn it. Color me surprised. Let's take one more look on the replay here and see what happened.
Well, does he have possession? That's going to be the question. So the foot gets in. All right, so there's the foot is in.
Okay, you might be right, Jay.
Well,
The ball is still kind of moving around. So Jackson unable to hold on. Now it's 3rd and 1, back at the 13-yard line. We'll see if they go right back to Jackson. No, it's in the hands of Budge, straight ahead. And Budge will have enough, close to the 10. That'll set up a goal-to-go situation for the Warriors. Well, looks like they're going to mark him at the 11-yard line. Still will be first down, so not quite goal-to-go here. Can pick up one more first down right at the 1. 5:25 remaining, third quarter. Weddington trailing this game 7-0, but rattled off 35 straight points. Breaking free, headed to the end zone, and there goes Brady Ritter. The senior takes it in from 11 yards out.
Brooke Mock, the tight end, was a key block at the counter. Was Ritter just kind of staying patient again, and Schrock as well, 66. Keenan Jackson, another block on the outside. Everybody working together as one.
And there is a Warrior down in the end zone, about to be lifted to his feet if he can make it. So Ritter from 11 yards out scores. I'm really glad he brought up Brooks Mock for Weddington, because last year early in this season, he's number 44 for the Warriors, broke his right leg in a really grisly injury. Wasn't sure if he'd be able to come back. Would he be as good as he was? Worked hard, rehab, had surgery the very next day. Came back, and right before the season began, tested himself at full speed on the field. He's been with his Weddington program now all season long, injury-free. And just earlier in the week in Charlotte, he received the Comeback Player of the Year by the Charlotte Touchdown Club. He's number 44. And this is a very special game for him, especially in light of what happened a year ago.
And what an honor for him, getting that award, and somebody that everybody respects. Anytime you come back from something, that's fighting through it, and good for him, and he's been a big part of tonight's game.
Right, Everett Scott back on for the extra point. Tries to return the lead back to 35, and will. It's been a very active third quarter. This was 28-7 at halftime. We've already seen 28 points in this third quarter. We barely played 6 minutes. 8 plays, 42 yards, the 11-yard jaunt by Brady Ritter. That's the Windsor Jewelers scoring summary. Happily ever after always begins at Windsor Jewelers. 49-14 Weddington. A reminder, stick around. The Tatum and Atkinson player of the game on the way in that fourth quarter. Brought to you by Tatum and Atkinson, injured in car wreck, called the heavy hitters. Beautiful night, and there is a look at Keenan Jackson, 10 catches, 136 yards. Nothing yet, though, in this third quarter. He doesn't mind, but he wouldn't mind having a reason to put on that, that noggin cap right behind him. On the rock with the sword underneath.
The fellas are on the big screen.
Andy Capone, head coach for the Warriors. You may or may not know this, but he was actually a college baseball player at Appalachian State. A left-handed pitcher. grew up in Monroe, North Carolina, which is about 20 minutes south of Matthews, which is where Weddington High School is located. His mom, Sue, his dad, Steve, his aunt and uncle are all here. His brother, Steve, a first-year resident in Virginia. He is here. His sister, Jen, is here. And all with great cause, and they're enjoying themselves right now. It's 49-14 for the Warriors, and a touchback on that kickoff. Still 5:15 to play in the third. This game needs to hustle along. I've been checking with a Beijing short track speed skating event in about 2.5 hours. Drive begins for Hoggard at the 20-yard line. The last time Wilhelm touched the football, he ran it in from 65. This time he looks to throw. Time. And now Reese is right. Pressure coming, and he just did release it into his sideline. He was being hunted down by Braden Barger.
The offensive line held up. This was his coverage in the back end from the defense. This is a wall. For Wilhelm, he was able to scheme the field, and then finally the pass rush got through. He just had to get rid of it.
Shifted along that defensive line for the Warriors, and now Wilhelm may change the play. Quick look to the sideline. Play clock still at 8. Toss through the seam, tipped, and still gets through to his intended man. That ball should have been picked off, but instead it got to Blake Edwards. That's one of the small pieces of good fortune for Hoggard in this game.
Edwards staying with it. The offensive line did a nice job holding up. Barger tips it, and Edwards, right place at the right time to get the first down.
The 32. Warriors will rush 4. They reverse field on that pass attempt down near the shoe tops of Edwards, incomplete. Greg Underwood and his staff still coaching up the players here. They're just treating this drive like any other drive. They need to score, but they are not hanging their heads, even though they're 35 points down. Webb deployed in motion on second down, and Wilhelm gets taken down for a loss. And how many times we said Aiden Harris's name tonight? He's been everywhere. Blocking kicks, getting in on pass defense, pressuring the quarterback. Ready for a sack here.
There's a swim move, gets into the backfield, low pad level, a quick first step.
Loss of 5, it's third down. Warriors will drop back 8 in coverage on third down and long, and that pass nicely broken up by Weddington's Gannon Anthony, number 4.
Anthony, one of the seniors, defensive end, made the Washington League for baseball, all-conference wrestler, 3-sport star, and perfect execution in coverage, knocking the ball loose with the right hand.
Punt unit back on the field. Weddington's going to get the football back with less than 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. And they're trying to run away from the punt rush, and they accomplish it. A one-hop punt is grabbed at the 35-yard line and then immediately down by Weddington's McDermott. Well, Jay, if you're the Weddington Warriors, you probably would like to start figuring out a way to work the clock down. But the trouble is the way they run their offense with all their weapons, it's hard to slow things down.
Right. Yeah, I mean, for them, I think the message that Andy Capone gave to Kendall at the halftime break was, I want to see my team finish. And I think they're going to continue to run their offense, keep their foot down on the pedal. Of course, they want to use this clock.
They do have the freshman in the backfield. A muffed snap, and there's a scrum for it. We'll see if Weddington got back on it. They did. Tyler Budge was fortunate enough to pick it up. There's a hard snap right off of Budge's left arm. And he just beat number 95, Tyron Bell, to the football. Loss of 1. Second down. Resetting Barino to his left. Play clock still at 8. And a flag flies in.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty will remain, second down.
Just the third penalty of the night on Weddington. Only 1 on Hoggard. Under 3 minutes for the third. Budge, the senior quarterback. Barino, freshman running back. Pressure from the backside. Budge did feel it, and he finds his outlet. Barino shifting, uses the hand to keep his knees off the ground, and down the sideline he goes. The freshman Barino inside the 25-yard line. What a skill. He was about to go down, lost a cleat, but put his hand on the ground, kept his knees off the grass, and raced forward on one cleat for about 40 more yards.
That's amazing. He loses his shoe at about the 27. Let's see how far he runs. About another 40 yards. Only a freshman. Just amazed at his talent. Screen game, a couple guys miss, lose a shoe. It doesn't matter. But look at how fast he was running with one shoe. Incredible.
He's on the sideline putting the cleat back on. First down, the carry by Budge. Up the left side, inside the 10, burying forward and almost at the pylon. He'll be spotted down around the 1.
Budge, quarterback designed run. A little hesitation to get outside. And then the wide receivers, that was Schrader on the outside with the block. Almost getting in the end zone. Everybody works together on this offense. They're physical on the outside, physical on the line of scrimmage. Everybody plays their part in the run game.
Now inside to talk it out, NC red zone. Start the conversation, stop underage drinking. From the 1, the Warriors are knocking on the door again. Budge will tumble over the goal line. Touchdown, Weddington. Budge has thrown for 2 and now rushed for 1. And Weddington in the state championship game with still another quarter to go has put 55 points on the board.
This has been Weddington's night, and Budge, as good as he's been through the year, making right decisions in the passing game, when he runs the ball, he's a load to bring down. The blocking up front, perfect. Potus, along with Alexander Ramey, the left side, clearing out the path. Those seniors leading the way up front. Another touchdown across for the Warriors.
And another extra point hammered through. 8 touchdowns in the game tonight for the Weddington Warriors. And Andy Capone, huge embrace with his senior star quarterback. We'll see how much longer he plays in this contest. Probably say the same for a lot of their frontline starters.
After the play is over, personal foul on the defense. That penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
That will go against Hoggard and be assessed on the kickoff. It is rare to get to this stage and see a lopsided affair like we've seen tonight. And if you're Craig Underwood, man, you hate to be on this end of it. But it's just one of those nights for his squad matched up against the Weddington Warriors and what they've been able to run out there tonight. So it's a 56-24 lead for the Warriors. A reminder again, later on in the fourth quarter, we will have our Carolina Carports play of the game. Carolina Carport quality is our first priority. A lot of options for the Weddington Warriors. You poll all of those students, they probably come up with different plays. They've had so many from which to choose tonight. But we'll find one, and Jay will tell you what it is later on in the fourth quarter. So the clock shows 2:23 left in the third quarter. And Weddington will kick off from the plus 45-yard line after the personal foul penalty. Will easily be cleared into the end zone. So touchback for Hoggard. And with the 42-point lead for Weddington, this may be a first. It's at least a first in my 18 or 20 years of calling state championship football games, that even though this is a state championship final, the running clock rule is still in effect. So as you see on your screen, the clock continues to run before the first snap of this drive, and will be the case unless Hoggard gets back inside that 40-point margin. Here's the scoring summary: 4 plays, 65 yards, and a 1-yard plunge to boost the lead. Brought to you by Windsor Jewelers. Happily ever after always begins at Windsor Jewelers. Is our referee Ronnie Blount. He may make an announcement here about
prior to the snap.
Nope.
Encroachment on the defense. 5-yard penalty will remain. First down.
So even during that penalty, nothing stops the clock outside of TV timeouts or the end of quarter. So even changeovers after punts, after touchdowns, through extra points. So Hoggard has more impetus to score and score quickly to preserve some time. And the first down carry for Wilhar will take that beyond the 35.
Well, there is a counter. And when you talk about, are these guys going to finish this ball game, Hoggard and their offensive line played with passion there. Jason Smith, the left guard, Michael Gibbs, just road graded up front to clear a path. And those two linemen, along with the rest of the veterans, they've had such amazing careers. And for all these seniors, they want to finish out this ball game the right way.
It's first down for Hoggard. Running clock is now inside 40 seconds. Penalty markers thrown down. Quickly, let's go down to Kendall, who has some more on Wilharm.
Yeah, guys, I have to give a ton of credit to Hudson Wilharm. He's not getting too low over there on the sideline. He's keeping his composure throughout this, and his head coach had nothing but great things to say about him all week. He said he's one of the nicest people you'll ever find, and he's just been nothing but class over there on the sidelines, leading his team through this tough game.
Yeah, this state championship game will do nothing to sully his reputation and his legacy with the Hoggard Vikings football program. Bringing Hoggard to a state championship game for the second time in school history, first time in 16 years. And Tamir Webb gets absolutely hosed right there by Weddington's Michael Loaiza, number 10. And it's going to take us to the end of the third quarter. 12 minutes left, and they may run very quickly with the running clock. The Weddington Warriors on the march to a 4A title. Well, the Weddington Warriors have waited 7 years to return to a state title game, and they won't need to wait longer, much longer than 12 minutes, because we will play with a running clock in this fourth quarter with Hoggard trailing by 42 points. And that incompletion fired on 3rd and 21. 56-14, the Weddington lead. And we'll take a look at the stats through the first 3 quarters presented by the Hondas of the Carolinas.
Well, in total yards, 446 for this Weddington offense, and the balance really stands out. They've had success on the ground and through the air. Each side, though, only 7 penalties combined. That's been impressive. And then for Hoggard, good day through the air. It's just been this defensive front 7 for Weddington. It's made it so difficult to run on.
3rd and 21 here for the Vikings. Wilharm analyzing, flushed out. Pressure now coming, throws on the run and coming back to that football on the sideline very nicely. It is ruled inbounds. The grab by Skylar Merrill, number 2. It will be short to the first down. There's a discussion, though, right at the point where he took it out of bounds. A second official came in from further down the field, and the call has now been overturned. I don't know if there was a juggle, Jay, here at the end. We'll take a look.
We'll see
Locked up by the referee there.
Yeah, when that foot came down, did he have possession or was the ball still moving? That's the question. They overturned it.
So from that angle, tough to tell. But it was
pass. The ball will be placed in the previous spot.
Ruled incomplete. They'll bring up 4th down and very long, 4th and 21. And again, even with all of this and the review, so we take a look here. Did he have control?
The foot's down.
Again, not the best angle there. Maybe it was the foot not being down. Hard to tell, but even as they took a look and overturned with the running clock, the clock still goes. This is 4th down. And they will punt it away at the last second. It will tumble across midfield, and Hoggard will touch it down right around the 40-yard line. We'll step aside. Inside 10 minutes to go in the final quarter. Weddington on its way to a 4A title, leading 56-14. (56-14) lead for Weddington in the 4A state title game over Hoggard. Cool, pristine night in Raleigh, North Carolina for the last of the 4 state championship football games across the weekend. 2 were at Keenan Stadium in Chapel Hill on the campus of UNC. The other 2 here earlier this afternoon, and this one here for the 4A title. Clock begins to run again with the 42-point lead for Weddington. And Tyler Budge remains on the field for the Warriors. Quick pass deflected and batted down, incomplete. Malachi West, number 13, knocking it down.
They're going to get a standing ovation here with Budge coming out of the ballgame.
Yeah, that's going to be it for Budge. So one more pass. So with intent, he went out there for one more play. And now the students, the family members, the fans of the Weddington Warrior program salute Tyler Budge, the senior. 2 touchdowns, 243 yards, 17 of 23, and massive embraces with almost his entire team. Everybody's running down the sideline from both sides to pay tribute to their quarterback, who's leading Weddington to a state championship.
And just a great sign there, Andy Capone, and bringing him out, and then a whole new group, a whole new lineup coming into the game with the reserves coming in. They'll be so proud of this group, the senior class, of course, and this whole team, what they've been able to accomplish throughout the year and what they're doing tonight.
And as Budge came off of the field, it was Greg Fee, a 6'4" junior backup quarterback, who replaced him. And it's not only replacing him today, but it almost feels like the passing of the torch, because Fee will get the first shot, you would imagine, next year at leading this Weddington team, try and repeat with all the great talent that they have.
Well, he's a talent, and they're excited about his potential when he gets his opportunity. And you look at the young players on this roster, Fee coming in, I'd expect them to have another special season next year.
Here's another senior, Kylan O'Dean, number 26, who's in to punt it away for Weddington in what will be his final high school game. Running clock approaching 7 minutes of this 4A state title game as the marker comes down prior to the snap.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution on the offense. 5-yard penalty will remain, 4th down.
These moments are always bittersweet. You're on your way to a title, and when you're on the bus ride back home, it finally will settle in that for some of these players, their last football game. Not everybody's guaranteed to play at the next level, D3, D2, or FCS, FBS.
Well, when we talked to both coaches, Patrick, they talked about just enjoying this time with their team. Like they wanted the season to continue because they enjoyed coaching these players, and they've had a great time during this ride throughout the year.
Dean's punt handled to the 27-yard line, returnable here for a Hoggard, and That's Kamar Fulton, spilled close to midfield. Penalty marker comes in with 6:15 and counting. We'll keep it here for the moment as we get the penalty assessed. This is where it pays off to be a star sophomore. There's no way you're coming off the field. Unless you're replaced by a senior who doesn't play very much.
Personal foul, face mask on the kicking team. That penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick. First down.
That'll be assessed against Weddington. We need to squeeze in one more break, which is tough with the running clock, so bear with us. We'll come back with the waning minutes of this 4A championship run for the Weddington Warriors when we come back. Tyler Budge, Georgia Southern commit, who's going to lead the Weddington Warriors all the way to the promised land. State championship tonight. 243 yards through the air. His night is done. The clock begins to run. Tough pass down the sideline and almost brought in by Session. Let's hope he's all right. Took a hard fall. It banged the hip a little bit. Couldn't hang on.
And for Hoggard, this is a team that's reeled off 14 victories in a row. They lost week 1 to Cleveland. They avenged that loss in the playoffs. And 14 wins, and what they've been able to do during their run. It's been a special year for Craig Underwood and his team. Still showing fight here at the end. I know they're going to be disappointed with this result. They just have so much to be proud of. And I was so impressed with the program he's built. And just talking with him this week, the character that he builds with his players off the field and what he's been able to do on the field with his group.
Jay, while we didn't cover any Hoggard games in the regular season, we saw several of their opponents. We know how good Cleveland was. We know how great Cardinal Gibbons was. And in the postseason, they didn't have a lot of resistance from those two teams in the last couple of rounds.
And he's the guy that I would want to play for. Him and Andy Capone, these are outstanding men that they bring out the best in you. And for them, this will be motivation going into the offseason, but he's got to be so proud of what he's done for that Hoggard community this year.
3rd and 10. Pass in the slot, coming back to the grab. It's Ryan McAllister for Hoggard. He's to about the 26-yard line. Expand on that. You said these are two coaches that if you're a high school player, you would want to play for. Why? What separates these from all of the other high school coaches you know?
Well, on the field, you want to play for programs that are competing for championships. So that's easy to see. But when you talk to them off the field, they care about you. They're guys that try to bring out the best on the field and off the field in your development. And it's those qualities that really can change these guys' lives. And for them, you want to make sure you're well-rounded, and both of these coaches really care about that.
And we've been around these high school championships for so many years now. Coaches, when they hop on the bus and they're on the way back home, they're reveling in the moment, or they're disappointed if they happen to lose in a game like this. But they're already beginning to flash ahead to the weight training, the workouts, and next
never stops.
Who's in one position? Yeah. For the Hoggard Vikings, and we talked a couple of days ago with Corey Johnson, the head coach of Clinton, about what was the motivating, driving force. They were a 2-point conversion away from playing for a state championship last year, failed. So that led to a whole different boot camp workout and approach. It got them to the championship game. What do you think this outing for Hoggard will mean for any kind of changes or adjustments from the coaching staff to get Hoggard to that last step and winning?
Well, I think it's just going to be a factor. Nice crossing route over the middle.
And that'll be a touchdown for Hoggard. Ryan McAllister. Well, that'll help ease the sting for Hoggard, especially for McAllister, a junior who will be back next year.
Perfect throw from Wilharm. Clean pocket. Goes across the middle, beats the coverage. And that's a good way to finish off that drive in the end zone.
And for Wilharm as well. That might be the final time. That might be the final high school pass he makes. And it's good for a touchdown. And the extra point by Brubaker is through. Making the clock will stop now because it's now a 35-point game. So 56-21, and now the running clock is ended. 2:59 left in the fourth quarter.
Craig Underwood played for Hoggard, and he was in these shoes that the players are in, played at Methodist, and he cares about this program. He's a Hoggard Viking, and for him, what an accomplishment this season. That's a good way for his offense to finish off our drives.
Let's get to the play of the game in this soon-to-be Weddington Championship victory, brought to you by Carolina Carport. Quality is our first priority.
Well, just amazing by Aiden Harris. Had an interception, and here he was Superman. The effort, the vertical jump, the technique there to block it, and then TJ Davis, who's been excellent throughout this ball game, picks it up for a touchdown, celebrates with his teammates.
56-21 the score. Let's go back for a moment to Craig Underwood. You brought him up being a Hoggard alum. One of the stories we haven't really touched on, as everybody's celebrating in their own special way on the sideline for the Weddington Warriors. Those are a couple of these superstar sophomores. But yeah, Underwood, a graduate of Hoggard, to go to his senior year when he was in the hallways for the Vikings. Friends of his set him up with a date for senior prom. And it was a girl at that stage named Nicole. Now, about 2 decades later, Nicole is his wife. They have 3 kids, including a daughter who's a freshman at Hoggard right now. You talk about, the Hoggard family and the community, and a blind date, senior prom. I mean, that's a lot of pressure to make that your first date, but she is here. She lives and dies with Hoggard Vikings athletics, and especially the football program. And it is about wins and losses, but it's about so much more as we get to know these players and coaches over the number of years that we're here.
It's true. I mean, you think about the sacrifices from these coaches, from their families, from the parents, the fan bases. Everybody plays a part in it, and it's because everybody cares, and all that hard work and all the things people give up to help others. The joy is watching these players compete out on the field. And for Weddington, they're going to have, a state championship trophy, but for Hoggard, great memories of a season, opportunity here that they can use moving forward for motivation, and just what an experience for both teams.
All right, here's a latest scoring summary in this 56-21 contest. 6 plays, 37 yards, and the 20-yard touchdown reception by Ryan McAllister for Hoggard. That is brought to you by Windsor Jewelers. Happily ever after always begins at Windsor Jewelers. Minute 33 to go. Warrior football. They'll keep it on the ground for a couple more plays, and Hoggard's going to sit on these final 3 timeouts.
Aiden and Drew.
Hard to separate those two.
They've been so good tonight. It's been fun watching them. Their talent stands out. And I can say this for both teams, just watching how hard these players play. And these guys left it all out on the field.
Drew Harris, Aiden Harris, the sophomore twins. TJ Davis, sophomore. I mean, we talk about impact players now that will be even more impactful over the next couple of years. And there is a guy who did all of his damage offensively in the first half. All 10 of his receptions, 136 yards. Keenan Jackson even recovered a fumble very early in the game. That would tie it up. A near disaster moment. Tatum and Atkinson, player of the game.
Yeah, he was just outstanding. Catching the ball, his route running. He wanted the ball. He wanted the action. He beat one-on-one coverage. Tyler Butch found him. He was looking for him. This was the best catch of the night, wrestling the ball away. And they're celebrating on his back. What a ball game he's committed in going to North Carolina.
The last snap has taken place, and now the celebration officially begins. Andy Capone and the Weddington Warriors, for the first time in school history, state champs at the 4A level as they dominate Hoggard 56-21.
Well, what a victory. Complete ball game, special teams, offense, defense, all played a part in this. Congratulations to Andy Capone and his team, Craig Underwood and his program. so much to be proud of, and these two teams played so hard tonight for Weddington here. Coming back to NC State, getting another state championship trophy. They're going to celebrate this one for a long time.
So Hoggard closes things out. State runner-up 14-2. And again, there was a bit of controversy when the seedings came out in the West, and Weddington with 2 losses was the top seed. Turns out the seeding committee was absolutely correct because they dominated through the bracket in the West, and they come through and they just run right over Hoggard after the first couple minutes of the opening quarter tonight, and a worthy 4A champion Weddington Warriors.
Well, they responded to that adversity early on. Hoggard goes up. Weddington just kept fighting, and then they got a couple touchdowns across, took control of this ball game. Their offense put up points, and their defense sealed it off, allowing minimal big gains. They stopped the run, and different guys stepped up tonight.
So the teams go through the long snake line of handshakes. And Kendall Smith is down there with the state champion head coach of the Weddington Warriors, Andy Capone. Kendall.
Coach, congratulations on the win. Your team are now 4A state champions. What's running through your minds?
It's a lot of emotion. Can't tell you how proud I am of these guys and what they've done and what they've accomplished. And, you know, we've had our ups and downs, but this is one of the most fun teams I've had to coach. And, you know, it's they deserve everything they've gotten, and they've earned it, and they've earned it, and they've earned it, and they're going out as champions.
This is your 3rd state title now as the head coach of Weddington. What makes this group so special, Coach?
The players, the staff, the community, they believe in us. They believed in me when I got the job at 27. And this group just continues to do what people say we can't. They say we couldn't win in 4A. We just did. So it's a lot of emotion, but this group's special. Weddington's a special place.
Coach, I want to congratulate you because now with this win, you have won the most football state championships of any head coach. How would you describe what Weddington means to you?
Oh, it means everything. You know, just you talk about Johnny Sal's and Johnny Lowry's and everybody in our tradition, and I'm just glad to be a part of something really small and everything these guys do. I'm just a small part of it. I just get to drive the bus and do the interviews.
All right, Coach, go celebrate. Congrats, guys.
And thank you very much, Kendall. And Coach, I'm sure knows this, and you out there watching may not know this, but Kendall Smith, who just authored that interview with Andy Capone, she is a proud alum of the Weddington Warriors, so a little bit extra special for her, but kept her very unbiased in judgment and reporting over the course of this championship. Congratulations to you all. The Weddington Warriors, for the 4th time in school history, state champs. First time at 4A. 56-21 over Hoggard. Trophy presentation, and we'll close things down from NC State next. It's a final, and there's the first 4A state football championship banner that will belong to the Weddington Warriors. 56-21 victory over Hoggard. Let's join the PA system here at Carter Finley for this ceremony on the field.
Receiving special commemorative T-shirts. We are also pleased to honor several outstanding individual performances in this championship game. The awards sponsored by the Carolina Panthers. For the state runners-up, the outstanding defensive player in this championship, as selected by media representatives covering this game, is number 0, Kamar Fulton. The Outstanding Offensive Player Award goes to number 15, Hudson Wilharm. For the state champions, the outstanding defensive player in this championship, as selected by media representatives covering this game, is number 6, Aiden Harris. The Outstanding Offensive Player Award goes to number 12, Tyler Budge.
Looks like he's crying. That's great. Great emotion.
Ladies and gentlemen, there were many outstanding individual performances in tonight's NCHSAA State Championship. However, one stood out, and this individual was selected by a panel of media covering tonight's game as the championship's most valuable player. The most valuable player for this NCHSAA State Championship is number 11, Keenan Jackson. From Weddington.
10 catches, 136 yards, all in the first half, and a fumble recovery for a touchdown, leading Weddington to its 4th state title. Keenan Jackson. 56-21 is your final, and that's going to put a full lid on championship weekend in Chapel Hill and here in Raleigh. So all of us would like to take a minute to thank the wonderful folks at the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and these broadcast sponsor partners: Tatum and Atkinson, the Honda dealers of the Carolinas, West Shore Home, NC 529, Hardee's, Talk It Out NC, Egg Brown Home Furnishings, Smithfield's Chicken and Barbecue, Windsor Jewelers, Carolina Carport, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services, and Ingalls Markets. All these sponsor partners, through their contributions to the program, make these championship games possible for all of you great viewers around the state. So for our incredible crew, Jay Solnholtz, my partner here in the booth, Kendall Smith down on the sideline. For everyone, Patrick Keenis bidding you good night. It's high school basketball season now. Congratulations to the Weddington Warriors. First time ever 4A state football champions as they beat Hoggard 56-21. Good night from Raleigh. Thanks for watching.
Late nights.